Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Soulful Leader Virtual Global Gathering. Welcome to our seventh, Soulful Leader Global Gathering. My name is Sahar Nafal, founder of the Soulful Leader community and your host for this morning. Please take a minute to go ahead and write your name, where you're calling in from, whether it's a city or a country or a state. We'd love to know where you're joining us from. So whether you're brand new here to our Soulful Leader community platform or a longtime Soulful member, I welcome you, my dear Soulful family. In my native tongue, in Arabic, I want to say ahlan wa sahlan. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence. It is truly a gift to all of us. So the Soulful Leader virtual gathering was created the first week of April during these uncertain times to bring together a community of soulful leaders who are creating change in our world. Yes, that's you. The Soulful Leader community is where voices are heard, where stories are told, and lives transformed. Whether or not these unprecedented times make sense to your logical mind right now, I invite you to surrender. Just at least for the next hour and a half or so, because you are in a safe and loved place. And I invite you to enjoy this space of loving connections, or at least, again, for the next hour and a half. One of my favorite quotes by Hafiz: this place where you are at right now, God circled on a map for you, where your eyes and arms and heart can move against the earth and the sky. The beloved has bowed there. Our beloved has bowed there, knowing you are coming. So this idea of the soulful family is about how total strangers from across the world with different backgrounds, ethnicities, culture, faiths, beliefs can unite in community, a soulful community where we can all feel a sense of belonging. Today, my dear cousin and our special guest, Helané Wahbeh, will be joining in a unique dialogue on the topic of the science of channeling, trusting your intuition and embracing the force that connects us all. Let me tell you a quote about channeling that I thought was just perfect for those of you. Obviously, all of you are here because you know what channeling is about, right? But channeling is a powerful means of spiritual unfoldment. It is about conscious transformation. As you channel, you build a bridge to the higher realm, a loving, caring, purposeful, collective higher consciousness that has been called God, the all that is, or the universal mind. I just thought this was a perfect quote. It's by Sanaya Roman. So before we begin, I just want to make sure we have a few housekeeping. I want you to make sure that you are mute so we can honor the space here with all of us. Make sure you are mute unless you are called to participate and speak, which is going to be later on. And then we're going to start by doing a grounding exercise. We always do that. We have a special guest, also a dear friend, Eliana Gelad. She's going to be here. She is somebody who's is going to help us enjoy healing power of the natural voice, music, and drumming, composed live. She's going to compose a piece for us now in order for us to be grounded. So that's what we're going to be starting with. And I know she is not called a channeling, but I believe that all that comes through her is channeled through her. So you'll be experiencing that. And then we're going to move on. We have a wonderful program scheduled for you, and I'll tell you a little bit more later. But let me see if Eliana is available right now and she's ready.
I did. I got in. Yes.
Yay. Welcome, my friend. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make sure you view spotlight video on yourself so we could enjoy your presence and your gift. Look at that beautiful background of yours. All right, Eliana, the stage is all yours.
Great. So you can't see. Well, there's a drum here. I see.
Yes.
I thought it was clever to have the virtual. Well, you'll hear the drum. You can see in ancient times of uncertainty and change, leaders would go to temples and they would avail themselves of special applications of sound and rhythm that would calm anxiety and provide clarity and connection to know what to do next. We were very conscious in those times of the use of voice and rhythm as a natural healer.
I invite
And
you to
what
speak a little bit louder, please.
can you hear now?
Just speak a little bit louder. Yes, we can hear you
And
much better now.
are you hearing good now?
Yes, much better.
Great.
Thank you.
So what you're going to experience right now is a resurgence of a special application of voice and rhythm that allows you to connect to the source of your inner calm. And if you're feeling any anxiety, or I don't know where you are in the world, maybe you're at the end of the day and you've had a long day before, this is an opportunity for you to relax and to come back into your body as the beautiful instrument that it is. And if it's the beginning of the day, this is a great opportunity for you to connect. It is a resurgence of an ancient application of voice and rhythm that therapeutically allows you to connect to your clarity and your calm.
Beautiful. Let's go ahead and ground ourselves with this music.
Whatever you're feeling right now, just allow it to be for a moment. Bring your focus down to the center of the earth, where there is that powerful molten lava, magnetic force that grounds and roots and puts you to ease.
Beautiful. Wow. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for this piece. I so appreciate you, my dear friend. I just want to tell you a little bit about our relationship. We have known each other for over maybe 7 or 8, if not more. Eliana had also come to our Bright Side of Life community live gatherings in the past few times to also share her beautiful gift. You'll be learning a little bit more about her. I'll be sending an email afterwards, and there will be links in which you can contact her, connect to her. Beautiful soul. And what a gift. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So I would like to, after this beautiful piece right now, for those of you who have not yet met me and you are on here for the first time, I always wanted to tell you a little bit about what matters to me most. And this is something so you could get to know the context of why am I here and how I stepped into this leadership role that I have. It all started in 2008 in my family room after leaving an unhealthy relationship of 18 years. And I made a decision that instead of me going into the victim space, that I would create a space for women that are able to come together and just gather in community and support one another. And it flourished and it grew. And before I knew it, within less than a year and a half, we ended up having from 8 women in my family room to over maybe 150 people that were at the Marriott Hotel, literally within less than a year and a half. And we had amazing speakers and thought leaders that showed up, and just, such as Dr. John Gray, the author of Men from Mars, Women from Venus, and Lisa Nichols from The Secret, and on and on. And I realized that, wow, I think I'm onto something. I have that leadership role in me, within me, to support and empower and inspire women. And it just grew. Our community continued to grow. And it was called the Bright Side of Life, right? And about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I moved to Illinois for my family. And it was time for me to release the bright side of life. I was just guided by spirit to just step more into the soulful leader that I am, that I have learned to become, in order for me to support other soulful leaders. So the name has changed from the bright side of life, for those of you who have been or familiar with the bright side of life, to the soulful leader community, which is more aligned with me and the people that I actually call in to our community. And today's topic is very dear to my heart, because I come from a family of channelers. I come from a family of amazing and gifted people that have such incredible gifts. And of course, our special guest is Helané. She is actually a cousin, second removed. Her mom, Maha, whom some of you have met probably either on the stage of the Bright Side of Life or on this stage, is not only my first cousin, our moms are sisters, but also a dear, dear friend. You'll get to experience some of her gifts later on as well. So I grew up in a space where the spirituality has been, it was safe for us to know, to understand, to learn from. My auntie, who's Maha's daughter, and of course Maha's mother and Helena's grandma, Hiyam. She's the first one who, with her husband, Uncle Ken, they started this challenging. And I know that Helané will go a little bit further, because we'd love to know the history of that. But I just wanted to share with you that I was 17 years old when I first experienced trance channeling from my auntie. So this channeling experiences is not new to me. And it was just so fascinating. And it was then I realized that there is more than just what I have been brought up to believe in the religion space, but that there's a universal mind. And what an experience, and what a gift, and it's just a blessing for me to be in this space of the family, in order for me to evolve and grow to where I'm at. So I'm able to help and continue to support thousands of people. This journey of mine started at age 17, but the true stepping into who I am as a leader began, I say, about 2004. When I began to awaken to the essence of who I am as a spiritual being, and I left an unhealthy marriage and began to do the work with other people. So I just want to tell you a little bit about where I come from. I have mentored hundreds and hundreds of people, specifically women. I work with men as well. I've spoken on many amazing stages with incredible thought leaders. I've also had the opportunity to just continue to grow our community and invite others to share their gifts and brilliance as we're doing today. So that's a little bit about me. I am a Palestinian. My background, both of my parents are Palestinian, and I'm always proud of my heritage and my culture. And I invite all of you to be as well. So that's also an important what matters to me. I have two amazing daughters, Dima and Maya. They are my anchors in life, and they're 29 and 26, whom I love, and both now live in California. So it's exciting. One of them was in Chicago. There's a little bit more about my personal part of me, but I'm here to empower and inspire women and men to really step more into the essence of who they are, their authentic self, as I continue to do that on my own. So what are our intentions for today? Today we are going to learn about the various types of channeling with Helané and how we all have the capacity to access information and energy from beyond time and space. I can't wait to hear all about it. It's also we're here to deepen our understanding about what our noetic signature is when it comes to channeling. You'll be experiencing also intuitive soul guidance channeling with myself later on towards the end. Of course, you'll have opportunity to have a Q&A with Helané and answer the questions. And then we have our wonderful guest, Maha, also. You'll be experiencing her trans channeling. Obviously, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. The whole entire family of my aunties are extremely gifted, so we get to experience her as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in, shall we? All right, so the science of channeling, trusting intuition, and embracing the force that connects us all with my special guest and amazing cousin, Helané. Welcome, 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 dear Helané. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you so much for this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying yes to this wonderful opportunity. And I see Maha's here already and ready to go for later. So I heard Helané actually a few weeks ago on a webinar by IONS, and you'll learn a little bit more about this wonderful platform, maybe an opportunity to join it later. And it was hosted by Helané. And I was fascinated by the topics, by the presenters, and the contribution this beautiful organization has. And so I thought, hey, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to ask her to share her favorite topic. And she said it's all about channeling. In fact, she is going to, her new book will be launching in September. So I can't wait to hear more about it. So let me tell you a little bit about Helané. She is the director, Helané Wahbeh is the director of research at the Institute of Noetic Science and the adjunct assistant professor in the Department of Neurology in Oregon Health and Science University. Dr. Wahbeh is a clinically trained as a naturopathic physician and research trainer with Master of Clinical Research and 2 postdoctoral research fellowship. She has published on the spoken internationally about her studies on complementary and alternative medicine, mind-body medicine, stress and post-traumatic stress disorder, and the relationship to psychology, health, and healing. Dr. Wahbeh, extensive meditation training, she's really excellent at it, by the way, includes mindfulness-based stress reduction, and she's been with amazing teachers as well. And we'll learn a little bit more about that as well. Without further ado, let us dive right in. So I want you to start, Helané, by sharing about how you came to be studying channeling at IONS. I'm sure everybody's curious about it as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. Yes, my path has been a very interesting one, as I'm sure many of your paths have been too. I was actually named after my great-grandmother, Helané, who was a midwife in Palestine and would heal and use herbs to help people improve their health. And I was named after her. So there was this expectation always that I was going to be a doctor or a healer in some way. And as a child, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But as I grew up, it really was where my passion lied, was how do we heal? What is the relationship between how we think and our mind and our body? So I ended up going to naturopathic medical school, started a private practice as a general practitioner, but research kept pulling at me because I had done that before I went to medical school, dabbled in research. So I then shifted to doing clinical research, and specifically in mind-body medicine and meditation. So how does our mind influence our body? How does it influence our immune system, our nervous system, and the way that our physical body shifts and changes and reacts to things in our environment? So I did a master's in clinical research and a number of postdoctoral research fellowships, learning how to do research and how to apply it to that research question. So I ended up at Oregon Health and Science University doing meditation research, specifically mindfulness, with combat veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, and looking at trauma and how we can heal trauma with shifting our mental state. And I was invited by a friend of mine to attend an expert meditation researcher working group talking about meditation and how meditation research was so limited in the West. Meditation is an incredibly powerful and can be spiritual experience for many people, and yet as it's been exploding in the West with the research, it's more focused on, you know, what happens in the brain, what happens in the body, and not really paying attention to the other pieces. So I was very excited to go to this working group that happened to be at the Institute of Noetic Sciences, and I'll share a little bit more about that. And as I was there, I was amazed at the work that IONS was doing. They were asking all these incredible questions that I couldn't imagine doing in an academic setting. The other interesting path that was happening at the same time is my channeling experiences. So I actually went to my first, what you might call a seance, when I was 10 years old at my grandparents' house. And so, you know, you walk in the house and there's a big room and everyone's sitting in a circle, and my uncle would go into a trance channeling state and start talking, and it was so clear to me, this is not my uncle, what's going on here? And as a 10-year-old, I was actually a little bit afraid, like, what's gonna happen? Is this gonna happen to me? And anyway, that was my opening, and channeling was very much a part of my life. And I experienced my own channeling abilities, and I will share more about how that showed up for me a little bit later. But when I got invited to IONS, this idea that my academic research training and this interest that I had in channeling could actually coexist, which was the first time in my life that I felt aligned. You know, when I would do my interviews with the combat vets, and they would be talking about their stress and trauma and how they killed people, and they felt like there was still something going on with that. And I would see, you know, these beings that were connected to their stories, but I could never share that at my lab meetings. So it was really exciting to me to come to IONS as first a consultant and then a scientist on the science team, and then now I am the director of research there. And IONS was founded by Edgar Mitchell, who was an astronaut, Apollo 14 astronaut, and the 6th person to walk on the moon. And when he was coming back from the moon to Earth, he had this amazing transcendent experience where he felt that he was part of everything and everything was part of him. And he was an engineer. He had no clue where this was coming from. So he came back to Earth and said, I need to study this. I need to create an institute to scientifically study this experience of interconnectedness. So IONS was founded in 1973, so it's been doing this work for over 45 years, including some work on channeling. So when I came to IONS, building on what they'd already done, developed this ions channeling research program that I can definitely go into more. But that's kind of the story about how I ended up to be where I am today, with this blend of this academic research background and my personal experience, and now being able to, with excitement and curiosity, really attempt to answer some questions about what channeling is and how it works.
I love, 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 love that answer. Thank you so much. I also wanted to go a little bit further. I know that you've mentioned your father, Uncle Ken, and I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your mom and her journey, because as you know, we're family, and I'd love our community, soulful community, to learn a little bit about you don't have to go into a lot of details, but as much as you can, tell them about Auntie Hiem and about her journey of channeling, and just for everybody to learn a little bit more. Like, you were 10 years old, I was like maybe 17 years old when I came to these sciences, and it was definitely scary, but it was also an eye-opening experience. So is it okay if you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
First, I want to share with everybody, you may have heard that channeling runs in families, and there have been a couple studies showing that that's true, especially in Scotland. And we have a number of studies that we're working on looking at this genetic aspect of channeling. What I'm also finding through the studies is that while there may be a genetic component, everyone actually has the capacity to tune in, has this intuitive capacity. And yet there's a piece about having it run in family that gives the context, so you're kind of more aware of it and have a context for it. And there's something that we believe is about the genetics that allows you to do certain types. So just because it doesn't run in your family doesn't mean that you can't tune in. So I wanted to give that little context. So our personal family's history is quite interesting. We have a great uncle who was an Orthodox Christian priest, who was the exorcist of the community, and would go into people's homes and do his energy clearings. And he was a very big figure in my grandfather's life, and my grandfather was just so incredibly fascinated with consciousness and our soul and what happened after we died. And so he became his own scientist. He was a surveyor by day, and he would, was his own kind of personal scientist at other times, where he would go around and interview people about their experiences. He would go with his uncle and be part of these exorcisms and house clearings. And he wrote a book, actually, about that. It's currently in Arabic. I'm hoping to get it translated into English. But he wrote a book collating all the things that he learned from his studies. And so he would go to different channelers' houses for these meetings. And, when him and my grandmother got married, he'd bring her along. And so at one of these meetings, everyone's attention was focused on the supposed channeler. And then all of a sudden, my grandmother goes into a trance channel, and everyone was completely startled and surprised. And she started doing the trance channeling. And of course, my grandfather was thrilled, because here was his wife who he could, observe and watch and study. I want to just touch on what trance channeling is very briefly.
Yes, please do.
So channeling, I really like to use a very broad umbrella term for channeling. It's basically accessing information and energy from beyond time and space. And it can show up in many, many ways on a spectrum. Okay, so you have a spectrum. On this side, you might have intuition and gut hunches that I think every person could admit that they've experienced at least once in their life. And then there's all this in between. And on this side, you have more rare experiences like trance channeling. So trance channeling refers to the experience of someone allowing their body to be used as a vehicle for communication. So the belief is that there is another being or an energy or source that is speaking through them. We can't really prove what that being or source is. Some people think it's part of the channeler themselves, which it may be their higher self. But the felt experience of it is that there is something that is coming through and using my body to speak directly. This is different from what you might have heard of as mediumship or mental mediumship. And that's a little bit more of a translation, because someone might hear a spirit talking to them saying, tell them the will is under the bed. And then the medium will repeat that back. So trance channeling, it just comes through. The channeler is not translating and not necessarily filtering, but I can also share more about that. And mental mediumship, they're hearing or sensing or feeling, and then they're translating it to the person who's in front of them. So grandmother was a trance channel. And then they learned that my uncle was a very strong trance channel, and he was kind of the main figure at these meetings when I was 10 to 25. Every single person on my mother's side of the family channels in some way, whether it's through artwork or mediumship or psychic abilities.
As well, I see Elle is here, who is Maha's sister. So thank you for being here, Elle. Yes.
Yeah. So everyone on my mother's side does have that experience, and it shows up in different ways. And I can talk a lot about what we're calling this noetic signature and your unique noetic signature. The way it showed up for me is a knowingness, a deep sense of knowingness in my body about whether something was true or not. As I got older, I was able to then hear and receive information from my guides that I do to this day. And then a couple years ago, I also, through hypnosis, learned how to do trance channeling. So I was made aware that I had the capacity to do that, and I wanted to learn because I was studying it, and I was bringing people into the lab to hook them up, and I'd seen my mom and all my relatives just like, I just want to feel what it's like. So I got trained to do that, and so now I can do trance channeling if I choose as well.
How exciting. Can you tell us a little bit more about the noetic signature and how we can incorporate it into our daily lives? I'm sure our community would love to learn about that.
Yeah. So what we're calling the noetic signature, like I mentioned, we have this premise that everybody has the capacity to tune in or has this intuition. Everyone has it. And yet the way that it shows up for people is unique to them. Just like a snowflake, your noetic signature is precious and unique and specific to you. And so I love this idea because often, I've heard so many people say, oh, well, they can move things with their mind. They're so amazing and powerful. I only get goosebumps. And I really don't like this better than, less than of our specific capacities. And I'm really trying to nurture this awareness that they're all valuable and important, and it's unique to you. And that you may have a affinity to certain ways of receiving information. We just finished a big study, a survey asking people, how do you access information and energy, and how do you express information and energy from beyond space and time? We got answers from over 500 people. We analyzed all that data qualitatively, and we're now working on writing it up. But there were definitely big themes. A lot of people really feel it in their bodies. It's an embodied experience. They get goosebumps, or they get a stomach ache, or it's a visceral thing when they are receiving information. For other people, it's super mental, and they just get a dropped-in download of information. And, you know, for every person who answered, there was a unique signature, and yet there were commonalities. Probably the most common was, I just know it. I just know it. I just feel it, or I just know it, and it's true. Many, many stories of people, especially in times of crisis, or, you know, like missed car accidents, or, you know, all these pieces where someone was in danger and they just heard a stop, or heard a turn this way or go this way. And anyway, I could go on and on about the different stories, but the big take-home message is that we all have the capacity to do it. And so how do we create just those moments of stillness to invite in that inquiry about what...
Before you tell us, before you tell us, Helena, this is a very important spot right here. I think I would love to hear from our participant, because this is something that we are all participating in. I want to go ahead and invite some of you who are on here who feel like they are channelers. Would love to hear from you in our comments. Do you believe that you're a trance channel? Do you believe that you have mental mediumship, where you just hear or you feel goosebumps, which is, that's me. I believe I'm mental channel. I feel goosebumps when loved ones or past ones are here. I also get messages from spirit, and then I share them with somebody else. Do you feel like you are somebody who is somebody who is just a knowing, just knowing that you are channeling something beyond who you are? Would love to hear in the comments from you. And if also, Helena, I'd love to learn more about, because we want to hear who's here and how gifted you are, or if there's anything else that you feel like you channel, or a form of channeling that we didn't hear. So please go ahead and write it down. Would love to hear. Okay. So it says mental, trance, and trance channeling. Wow, Danielle, that's very powerful. And it says here, membership, let's see here, mediumship, feel things, hear things, know things. Okay, beautiful. What else? A medium who hears the information and I get it. Love that. Thank you for sharing. Let's see what else. We have something that knowing, that's Ibtisam. Thank you, Ibtisam from Chicago. Carol, I just know. It's a mental hear download from beyond. Thank you, Carol, for participating. Fiona is that she's a trance channel and knowing, which is good. And then we have Monica. Monica, I'm a medium, hear, see, feel, and know. That's awesome. And then audio. Okay, so you hear, Eliana, of course, because you're obviously that's what your gift is. So let's see here. Or
I'm just plugging in what I. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Okay, and so we are. Please mute all your calls. And also, and through dreams. I don't know if that's a good question actually to ask you. I know I do a lot of dreaming. I don't know if it's a form of channeling, but before we talk about dreams, if you can for a little bit, a lot of people are a little bit confused about the difference between channeling and mediumship, because as I do research about this, as I become more and more, tuned into spirit and do more mediumship or channeling, I read all kinds of information. What is mediumship? What is channeling? I think that would be an important question to ask and answer from you, Helena. Can you tell the difference between, what is the difference between channeling and mediumship?
I love that, because that's what I wanted to talk about next. So when I first got into, so personally, I had experienced this. I had no clue there was a whole field called parapsychology that's goal was to study this stuff. And as I started reading about it, I noticed that there were so many different terms. And what I called channeling, they called mediumship. And then I'd read another book, and then they called that channeling, and then it was me. And like my head started to spin. We have clairaudience, clairvoyance, remote viewing, psychokinesis, mind over matter, ESP, psychic, medium, etc., etc. So my advice to you is there are no fixed definitions to the terms. Okay, what people usually call channeling is what I'm calling trance channeling or trance mediumship.
Mm-hmm.
Mediumship and medium is also a very common term. So medium and mediumship came from the late 1800s, and the term channeling came more recently. So it really is terminology and definitions. That's another reason why I'm really excited about this noetic signature, because we're creating an inventory, kind of like a personality inventory, like the Myers-Briggs.
Oh, I love
We're
that.
letting go of all those terms, and our goal is to create, you know, like on the Myers-Briggs, you're introvert, extrovert. It's like INFJ or, you know, ENFT or whatever. So it's a multi-faceted noetic signature that you would get. So what am I on the embodiment scale? What am I on the senses scale? What am I on the thinking scale? Rather than getting tied into these terms that are crossing over and have different meanings to different people. So I know that's kind of a roundabout way to answer your question.
I love it. Thank you. Because it was confusing to me as well when I was doing the research and reading, which is awesome. So what have what have you learned from the Science of Channel program? Like, I'd love you to elaborate more, Helena.
Yeah, I would just, this is what I do, and invite you and the others to do this too. As you're reading, to, as best you can, not get caught up in the word that they're using, but just see how what they mean by it, and that will allow you to just let go of the terms and definitions. So the IONS Channeling Research Program aims to answer 6 questions about channeling. What do we already know about channeling? How common is it? How does channeling work? Are there any defining characteristics about the channelers themselves that allows them to do one type over another? Can we verify the information that's actually being received? And then, is the content useful? So we've done a number of studies on each one of these questions, and have some results. For example, in terms of what do we already know, we know that if you have channeling experiences, you are not crazy. It's not a mental health pathology. That, of course, there is mental illness, and if you are experiencing difficulties in your daily life because of these experiences, then it's really important to reach out for support. But for the most part, people who have channeling experiences are very functional. They have appropriate relationships and jobs and responsibilities, and it is not a mental pathology. We do find that people have higher dissociation and psychotic symptoms who have channeling experiences, but they don't reach clinical levels. So no, we're not crazy, which is great. In terms of how common it is, you know, it's still very taboo to talk about this. It's wonderful to have communities like this because we can talk openly about it. But for many parts of the world, especially in the West, it's challenging. You have to, you know, feel out who you're talking to if you can feel comfortable to share about what you're experiencing. So we've done a number of surveys. One was a really great one with over 900 people, and we had scientists and engineers, people from the general public in the US, and then people from our listserv who are obviously very enthusiastic about this. And we asked them about 25 different channeling experiences, and over 90% said that they had at least one, including the scientists and engineers.
Wow.
And we're like, this is crazy. We couldn't imagine having such high results. So we took out the ones that might be perceived as kind of normal things, like the clear empathy, feeling other people's emotions, or just the intuitive ones, and it was still over 80%. So if you look at, when you look at diseases and they say, oh, this is common or this is rare, having something over 80% is very common. So these experiences are not rare. They're actually incredibly common. When I do talks all over the world, all over the country, and there's always people who come up to me afterwards and say, you know, I had this happen to me and I can't tell anybody about it because, you know, I'll get kicked out of my job. And there's so many people who have had these experiences who are just in the closet, if you will. So it's common. In terms of how it works, I had this fantasy that I would be able to come up with one way. It's like, okay, it's going to work in this one specific way. So we did tests in the labs. We hooked people up to EEG and EKG and all these different body signals. Actually, my mom was one of the trance channelers in that laboratory study. And the only thing that we found different from when they were channeling and non-channeling was the voice. And that was quite remarkable, because if you've ever, I don't know how many of you have experienced trance channeling, but the person usually looks and acts very, very differently. So I was very surprised that there was no shift in the body and the physiology. What we've learned from channeled information is that there is no one way, that depending on the type of channeling you're doing, there's different mechanisms. And one really, I think, piece that made sense to me is that each channeler has their own specific frequency. Each being or information or whatever coming in also has its own specific frequency. The audience has its own specific frequency. And the content, the message itself, has its own specific frequency. And those can combine into this infinite number of resultant channelings. And so each person is quite unique, and the way that they channel is unique. So I'm trying to tease that apart further with the research. So if you ask, how does channeling work? We're not quite sure. In terms of, besides trance channeling, other channeling experiences like, you know, telepathy or feeling the future, stuff like that, there have been really interesting findings about our environment. So when it's a full moon, there are increased psychic abilities. When there's something called geocosmic forces from the sun, when that's high, then we have more kind of ability to affect physical things with our mind, and there's more like ghost sightings or physical aspects, whereas when it's low, it's different types of channeling. So our environment actually influences our capacity to do it.
Can we pause here for a minute? Because I love what you just said. I want to go ahead and let me go ahead and put the spotlight. So what I heard you say, that channel comes in different formats, and you said that there are our own specific frequency, and I love that. That makes so much sense. So the question to you is this, and how do we, I don't know if it's called strengthen our frequency in order for us to hear more, to feel more, to channel more, to be able to have clear communication, right? Is there any way, anything that you could give our beautiful community in which, for those who are, for example, on, you know, they know that there's something more, that they feel a knowing, and they just want to even hear information or even see. I surround people with white light, and I see, and you'll be all experiencing it just a little bit with me and Maha. Maha is a trans channel, who's her Helena's mom. So you'll be experiencing that in just a little bit. But I want to know, is there anything that we could do for us to maybe higher our frequency in order for us to hear more, or to see more, or to be able be better channel?
Yes. So what's interesting and challenging at my work is, you know, when we get people's input, they use words like frequency or energy, and yet that term energy isn't like what physicists refer to as energy. We're still trying to figure out how to measure these experiences that we're having. Another piece related to frequency is, this is channeled information. They said, we're all one. Imagine we're on the electromagnetic spectrum, and the spectrum is one thing, but my frequency is just one slice of that. So I am unique and different, but I'm still part of this whole. So to your question about how to strengthen it, this is not coming from my science background. This is coming from my personal experience. What I think is most important is intention, and to bring intention, if you can, to places of stillness. It doesn't have to be a specific type of meditation. You choose what works best for you, a place that brings you internal stillness. It could be in nature, it can be a specific type of meditation or listening to music. First, decide how to get into that place of stillness, and then bring your heartfelt intention to your practice. And to do that every day, even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I want to learn how to access information and energy. Please show me the best way for me to do that. And then wait and listen and be open and receptive to the guidance that you receive. If you haven't been able to connect with your guides or your guide team, I would say that that's a wonderful place to start, because then you can develop a working relationship with them to guide you. Now, it's very important to set the intention of the highest and best for you, and protection, that the energies that you're tuning into are for your highest and best. And that specific intention will create a field that will only allow the highest and best to connect with you. Again, this is my personal experience. I wish I could run a study to test all that, but I haven't figured out quite how to do that yet.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I want to share something personal with everybody. I know some of you who I've worked with, and I see many of you here from all over the world. It's just been a blessing. What my experience has been is that the more you do work with others, the more you channel, the more you become, the more you get information for others, I think the more you strengthen. It's all about practice, just like anything else. I have, since the corona in March, I have been guided. In fact, I want to share a little story with you, and then we'll move forward with this, that I don't think I've ever shared. But my intuition has really become very strong, or my channeling has become strong since I moved to Chicago. There was a lot of time that I spent alone. And with being alone, as you mentioned, and just connecting and going inwards, it really strengthened my vibration or my frequency in order for me to receive more information. And I've noticed the more I received information, the more I was capable of helping my clients at a really, really better, like serving their highest good, even better than ever before. I've been coaching and mentoring for over 15 plus years, but the more I'm connected, the more I'm channeling, information is becoming more and more personal to the individual, and it's been fascinating. So when the crisis of the corona happened, I really sat down, meditated, and I asked Spirit, what is it that I could do to serve humanity right now? What can I do to serve humanity? And Helané, Spirit literally gave me information. It's very precise that I am supposed to channel unconditionally for whomever it is that is met or come in my way. And I've done over maybe about 30 or 40 so far. I've been told I have to do about 100 of them. And that experience of giving unconditionally, the intention of me just supporting people that are going through so much right now, has been such a profound and amazing experience for me. It's been a humbling experience that I'm capable to serve and give back. And why I'm telling you this is perhaps for those of you who have the gift of channeling, the gift of being able to support others. I invite you to open up the opportunities for others that are in your way. And if you are right now, please let us know. I'd love to share. But the story I want to share quickly with you. In early January of this year, I was guided to leave Illinois. I was planning to stay for at least another year. I was there for about 2.5+ years. And I was guided by Spirit to leave Illinois and to come to California as soon as my lease was over. And it was over on the 1st of March. I had no idea why I was leaving. I just followed my intuition and I said yes to my guidance. Within less than a month, I had to sell everything. I was given very precise information. And I followed my guidance and I sold everything. I put everything in storage at a friend's house, the car, everything that I needed showed up. So one of the things I want to tell you, if you are guided, you have to follow your intuition. For those of you who are channelers, for those of you who are mediumship, a lot of times we get information that we don't listen to. I packed everything up and I put it away. I put my stuff away that's left, about 7 or 8 boxes. And then everything that I needed showed up. Like, it's not just about us receiving information, but listening to the information in order for us to have a better way of serving humanity. You know, the people that are supposed to ship my car showed up. The people that helped me pack showed up. Everything came together within 1 month. Even the place that I'm living in right now showed up magically. And I arrived on 03/03/2020 at 222. 222 is a new beginning. That's the number of the new beginning. Why I'm telling you this story is because a few weeks later, the coronavirus has the news of the coronavirus. And I found myself being in a place of, my goodness, if I didn't listen to my guides, I would have still been probably in Illinois, and I don't know where I would have been. But the best part, I was brought here in order for me to serve. And all the experience that I've had of honing my own, of becoming more and more in tune with Spirit and getting more information is now serving humanity. And what I want to invite you with all the information, amazing information Helané is sharing with you, but from perspective of practicality, please do use your gift of intuition, mediumship, in order to serve humanity right now. A lot of people are in pain. A lot of people are suffering. A lot of people are going through, uncertainty and fear and all this thing. And I know as empaths, we do pick that up as well. Use your tool to clear yourself. Use your tool to surround yourself and protect yourself. But it's so important right now to use that talent of yours, all of you here, to serve humanity unconditionally. So I just wanted to share that with you. And then I want to get back to Helané. Thank you so much for all listening. And if you are doing it unconditionally, please, we want to hear it in the comments. So that was that. The next thing I wanted to ask you, Helané, is I know that you may have shared a little bit about the reviews and the results of the program thus far, right? And if not, I want you to elaborate a little bit more and also review the results of the Noetic signature research inventory and tips that you could maybe tell us a little bit more about it. And we'd love to hear a little bit more because this has been amazing. Thank you so much. You're just incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there's a whole body of research we're doing now about, what is it about the channelers themselves that have them do specific types more than others? And is there a genetic component, like I mentioned earlier? So we call that program Psi Genes. And we did a genetic study where we took 13 very, very high functioning psychics who had psychic abilities in their family. And then we had people that we called controls who said they didn't have any psychic or channeling experiences and no one in their family. And we took their saliva and we looked at their entire genetics, and we found one specific thing that was common in the psychics and was not there in the controls. And I saw someone's comment about the junk DNA. We now call that non-coding DNA, and it was actually in that region. And we're learning more and more that those areas are actually moderators, and they influence the genes. They turn them off, they turn them on, they shift how they work. So we're doing some follow-up studies now, one of which you can participate in, So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of 23andMe and Ancestry.com, these direct-to-consumer genetic services. So if you have done that service already, you can go onto our website and you fill out a survey talking about your channeling experiences, and then you upload the raw data that you got from 23andMe and Ancestry.com.
What is the website?
www.
Yes.
I'll put it on the chat. .noetic.com.
Yes. Why don't you go ahead and put it there so people could go?
Okay. And if you go to that site and go to the research opportunities, it's called genetic data sharing.
Thank you.
And so what that, running a full genome on someone costs about $1,500. So obviously it's challenging for us to do a really large study with that cost. So we said, hey, people are actually getting this data on their own already. What if we pooled all that for as many people as we can and then compared the genetics to what they say they're experiencing? So we're really excited about that study. And then the other piece that we've just almost finished, we still don't have the results yet, the 13 psychics that were in that first study I told you about, they are doing something called remote viewing to then see if they could use their channeling abilities to see what that non-coding region is about, because people don't really know what it's about. So at IONS, what's so wonderful is we really try to come at things from multiple different angles, use channeled information and rigorous scientific methods to see what we can learn about that. There's two more pieces in terms of our channeling research questions. One is, can we verify the information? So the information that comes in, is it actually true or not true? So we've done a number of studies in the lab with mediums, being able to get information from deceased or information about deceased people, and we have had mixed results with that. Two of them showed that yes, they were able to get the information, and then the last study showed that the controls and the mediums were able to get do better than chance in deciding how a person died when they saw the picture. Now, the things that we're doing in the lab are very different from how a medium might do it in their own setting, and yet, we're putting all these kind of limitations to see if it shows up as verifiable information. So there's a bunch of other researchers who are focused on that as well, testing information. And then, is the content useful? I'm working now with a researcher in Italy, and he has a group of channelers and I've had a group of channelers. So we're getting the content of that and comparing what they said about the nature of reality to see if they gave similar answers from different parts of the world. And then we have another project idea that we'll eventually move forward with, which is collecting information from channelers about what's afterlife like, and gather that from hundreds and hundreds of different channelers from around the world and see how their answers compare. So those are kind of the take-home results we have so far about the 6 questions of our channeling research program. I mentioned to you about the noetic signature. So the next steps are to create this inventory. In the next, hopefully 2 to 3 weeks, the first draft of the inventory will be ready to test. So if you aren't already, I invite you to go to our website and get on our listserv list or become a member. And then as soon as that's ready, we will send a notice out to everybody so that you can participate and help us refine what the noetic signature inventory is going to be. Once we do that, we'll refine it, we'll get our final version of it, and then it will be available for people to learn about their specific noetic signature. And then we're working on building curriculum to support people to nurture that signature for themselves and use it in their daily life to help themselves individually, to help our culture, our society, our world. As you know, Sahar mentioned, it is so desperately needed right now. And you know, I've had so many people comment that, oh, but you know, I'm too shy and I don't know if it's real. And I invite you to trust what comes through, and when you share it with people, to ask first for permission. Would you like to hear what I'm picking up? And you can always give them the caveat that they can take it as they will. It's not like it's set in stone, hard fact, that it's their choice of how they receive it. And it may mean something totally different to them than what you think it means. And to just allow that be a consensual, loving, organic process in terms of sharing what you pick up for other people. Obviously, if you're in a therapeutic, counseling, life coach, etc. situation, you're already in that permissive relationship. Anyway, I could go on about that too, but I'll just pause there.
Yes. Thank you so much. That is amazing. And just like both Helena and I mentioned, do try to see if you could use your talent of mediumship. And it's not just about you giving back. Obviously, it is giving back, and it's about you being intentional of giving back, but also for you to strengthen your connection to spirit and become more and more confident of the work that you do, because the more confident, the more true information that you can help humanity, the more you're able to support others, grow or awaken, or whatever it is that you want to call it, for our common good. As Helena mentioned, we are all one, right? And she did mention that each and every one of us has a unique way of channeling or a unique way of frequency, but eventually that frequency could all be at one. It's just fascinating. I love the information that you shared. And my last question to you, before I invite your wonderful mother, Maha, to share with us her gift of trans mediumship that I have been so blessed to have experienced for years. She does channeling for me all the time. My mom comes through, my dad comes through now that they're passed, and so many amazing, incredible, beings come through. Before I introduce Maha, tell us a little bit about your upcoming book. We'd love to hear about it, and how can we support you, spread the word about the book and a little bit about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I mentioned, please jump on to the Noetic website, the Institute of Noetic Sciences, get on our email list, become a member, stay connected to the work that we're doing there. I am currently working on a book called The Science of Channeling, and it is due to the publisher at the end of this month. I'm so excited about it. It covers the channeling research program, some of my personal experiences, and talks about the noetic signature and how to really incorporate it into your life. That book is coming out September 2021. So being engaged in the IONS community, participating in some of those research studies I told you about, and staying tuned for the upcoming book is a great way to support your own noetic signature, your own capacity to tune in. And what I found is that the more that I have trusted in this own capacity in my own life and used it for my decisions in my life, I have so many stories I could tell you about the beautiful synchronicities and the beautiful unfoldments. I call it skywalking, when you just, like Sahar moved to California, all those different, it's like, okay, I'm getting this guidance. This sounds totally crazy, but I'm going to do it. And it just beautifully unfolds before you. And so living my life in that divinely guided, channeled, informed way has supported me so much. And then that ripples out. And then people look at me, or they might look at you as you're shining this out. It's like, wow, what are you doing? And then that's a beautiful opening to really share your experience and your gifts with them. So it's been such a wonderful pleasure to share a little bit about my story and the work that I do. And yes, please just stay connected. And it's only the beginning of this beautiful opening path to really, I hope, bring channeling to our whole planet in a much more normalized, everyday, beautiful way. Thank you.
I love that. And also, I want to share with you that once the book is available, I will make sure to promote it on our Facebook group, which is the Soulful Leader Community with Sahar. It's called the Soulful Leader Community with Sahar, and I'll leave the link here for those of you who are not part of it. That's where we share our news, we share a little bit more about everybody's gifts, and we just update everybody on all the amazing things all the amazing guests that we're bringing. So we'll make sure to promote that for you, Helena. But before you leave, I want you to do one more thing, and that is to introduce your amazing mom and tell us a little bit about her. And I'm just gonna, have her do some trans channeling. Because you are her daughter, I'd love for you to introduce her for us, even though she's one of my dearest friends and my cousin. But I thought, since you're here, let's go ahead and have you introduce Maha.
Oh, what a great pleasure. So I'm so blessed to have an amazing, amazing, wonderful mom. We actually wrote a book together called Free to Be Me, Generational Healing, and about this story. So if you want to learn more about both of our life stories and how channeling came into play, check that out. It's on Amazon. My uncle, Sahar, was kind of the main trance channeler. And, my mom had her own capacities, but didn't know that she could trance channel until she became older in her life. And I was really blessed to be able to support her and encourage her. She's like, oh no, that's what Sahar does. I don't need to do that. And, there's a little bit of nervousness and fear around that. And so I was really blessed to support and nurture her in her channeling abilities, and have seen her just blossom and grow. And she in turn supported me when I was trying to learn it. What has been told to us about her capacities, that she's an incredibly powerful channel and conduit, that her body has the capacity to really move a lot of very intense, powerful energy, and that's what she does on this planet. That's her primary purpose, is to bring in this incredible, beautiful energy. And so what's amazing is that she can actually channel many different types of beings, from earthbounds to archangels to you name it. So she's probably really loving this introduction, but without further ado, I'm excited for you to experience what trance channeling is like if you haven't done so already. And I think Sahar was going to share her type of channeling as well. So I'll stay on the call because I couldn't miss this. So thank you.
And before we also, if anybody has any questions for Helena, please go ahead and write them in the comments. I know many of you have questions as Maha shares her trance channeling with us, but please do write your questions, and Helena will maybe come later and answer them for us. So let's go ahead and the spotlight on my dear friend and cousin, Maha. Let me unmute you. Just click on unmute. Hold on one second, sweetheart.
There.
Okay, here we go. All right, welcome, Maha.
Thank you. Spirit has been waiting.
Okay, let's do it.
So thanks, Helané and Sahar, for your beautiful compliments. And I'm very pleased to be here. And when I'm ready to channel, sometimes I feel altered. So right now I'm going to just go into the channeling. It takes a few minutes for the alignment, and And I trust that who will come through will be perfect for this situation, because my personality is not in charge. It's my higher self and spirit. So I personally will talk to you later. Greetings, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be part of this, chat, you call it, that we are very pleased to be part of. I am one of Maha's guides. I wish to express my gratitude and many of our gratitude for all the work you all do in behalf of awareness, in behalf of consciousness, in behalf of awakening of humanity. Thank you very much. Yes, we exist and we are with you continuously. We understand that the science part of humanity is important as well as intuitive. We understand that doubts are very much a part of humanity's minds, but we can guarantee to you that we exist. We do support all of you to wake up and be aware of our existence, because we help you more than you can imagine. We can support you in your daily life. We can support you in your evolvement to who you truly are. You are magnificent beings. It is not just your personality that is on this earth. You came as a soul that wishes to experience more than the limitations of what your personality holds you back from. Please call upon us to help. Call upon us to support you in everything you do. It is not for us to make you do what it is we wish. It is only for us to guide. Please, please heed this and all that has been said today, because your world needs it very much. It needs your awakening. It needs your taking action. It needs for you to participate, to enliven this beautiful earth you are part of. We wish you all to be participating in your own lives and all that is around you. As has been said, you are all connected, you know. You are all connected. Do not believe that what you do does not affect others, because it does. Many of you do know that. So please help others, even with just how you live your life. Be the example, be the light to all that is around you and beyond. It is gifts you have that you have been born with, that you can share, that you can support the ones that are asleep. You can support the ones that are in pain. Fear is not part of your humanity, but it is the one that controls all that is around you. Be aware of it. Be aware of it and do not buy into it. We understand that you know much of what we are saying, but please, beloved ones, please wake up. And blessings to you all. Magnificent, magnificent souls that you are. Blessings.
Blessings.
It takes time for me to come forth, so Sahar, you can take charge.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you. So I hope that was a wonderful experience for those of you who have not experienced channeling. If you have any questions for maybe Helena, she could answer while Maha is trying to come back. And she had a very profound message. I took notes myself of that, how we are gifted and we're supposed to be helping humanity right now. Just this is the overall message of today, using your gift to help humanity. If there anybody has any questions for Helena and soon for Maha, that would be amazing. But before we do get into the questions, I know that I do honor our time here. We only have 9 minutes, but I choose to stay a little bit longer because I do want to gift you my gift of intuition and guidance. For those who choose to stick around and would like a reading from me, I want to stay. We're going to be here till about noon. For those who need to leave at 11:30, I honor that as well. But I wanted to make sure to give you as much information and experience as you can from both Helena and Maha, of course. And I also want to honor their sister, Maha's sister, who is here with us, Ilham. Ilham is a beautiful soul too. She's so gifted and she writes a lot. So please make sure you follow her on Facebook. She has been writing these beautiful poetry and stories almost every single day. And I've been following her as well. Again, very gifted in her way of writing. And Ilham, if you want to participate and put your Facebook, because I'd love people to follow you as well. In addition, if you have any questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to anybody has a question for Helena or even Maha, please go ahead and just wave your hand. We'll be more than happy to take 1 or 2 questions. Was that Fiona that raised your hand? Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and unmute you, sweetheart. And what is, go ahead and unmute yourself. Here we go. And what is your question?
I find that I do trans channeling with animal spirits.
Mm-hmm.
My question was, is that something that you've experienced or you've heard about or you've seen or?
I haven't personally experienced it, but I've definitely heard of others doing it. I've seen them doing it. What I've seen most is that mental mediums will pick up thoughts and images and needs from living animals. So there's that. And then I've seen channelings of, it's not that it's necessarily that specific one cat's energy. It's kind of an archetypical cat energy that's coming through. I've also witnessed that as well. But of course, like I said, there's so many variations. So if you've seen it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've had specific animals speak through me. And, you know, when they have specific messages, and I've also been able to do healing through it. They show me what needs to be healed. And I've been able to heal a lot of long distance, actually healing.
Beautiful. And so that's your unique signature. You know, so you have an affinity to working with animals, and I'm totally getting chills all over. And so I invite you to to really embrace that and honor that and say, okay, this is my thing. So what do I need to do to nurture and support and trust and love that part of me?
I love that, Fiona. Thank you for sharing. I've known Fiona for a year now, and it's just been a blessing to also witness you and see the work that you do for animals as well. Again, we're all one, right? That's awesome. Great question. Anybody else? Maha is here, so let's go ahead and highlight her. Go ahead, sweetheart. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to encourage all of you that they were saying. It's such a pleasure, like Sahar and Helané said, to have their support, our guides' support and help. So Sahar, I was just wondering, I would love to offer a channeling experience for your community.
Yes.
And I don't know if leaving my phone number or my email.
You know what we'd love to do is maybe I'll have you to our community in general. Maybe we could do a community collective, because otherwise you're going to get bombarded. But I would love to do that. Maybe that's something that we could do in our Soulful Leader community. How does that sound?
Yes, because I feel that I can do that and support them in what's going on, and because I've had many messages between me and Helané and me and Sahar, so I wouldn't mind sharing it with the group as well. If
that would be amazing.
For me to bring, Yes.
That would be amazing. Perhaps we could do another one just privately with you and us and the whole community, because we'll get more people
interested.
There.
Yes.
Whoever's interested, because we could sit here for hours and hours and hours. I want to just thank you so much, my dear cousin. I love you so much, and I just so appreciate you sharing this gift with us. That's awesome. Thank you. Anybody else has any questions for either Maha or Helena? If not, we could just move forward. Thank you. Beautiful. I'm reading here. Okay, please. Yes, please. Okay, good. We'll talk. Me and Maha will talk. And of course, Helena, I'd love for you to be part of it, even Ilham. That would be amazing. That could be just a segment to support people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excellent. Helena, is there anything else you want to wrap up before we move into what I'm going to be doing for everybody today? Is there anything else you want to share that you forgot to share, or anything else to wrap it up?
I do need to head off shortly, so this will be my goodbye. I just want to offer deep gratitude and remind us all to bring as best we can an attitude of love and compassion and kindness to ourselves and our path, and that we are all exactly where we need to be, to release any, angst, energy of not being exactly where it is, but just to really trust that where you are is perfect for your path. And to offer that to others around us as well, that loving, that kindness, that compassion. Our world so, so desperately needs it. I love you all. Stay connected, and we'll be sharing more as this path unfolds.
Just stay with us for a second. Let's all give her either an energetic clap or a big hug or a kiss. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody who's here, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so, so grateful to you and your presence here and the gift that you're giving to all of us and to the world, Helena. We will bring her back for sure for future gatherings. Thank you again, sweetheart. Much love to you for your time and energy. And make sure you all join IONS. It's a wonderful organization. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Excellent. Again, thank you. For those of you who would like to stay and just get a little, get some experience of some of the work that I do now in the world, which is so powerful. I've transitioned from doing work with business building or community building into literally transformational work for humanity. And it's just been a fascinating journey for me. So here's how this is going to go. First, for those of you who need to leave, I know it is going to be in 2 more minutes. I do totally honor you to go ahead and leave, because we did commit to only doing this for until 11:30. So I honor you, and I thank each and every one of you who joined us here that can't stay with us. And for those of you who are here, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put it back to where we could see everybody. Thank you, everybody who are here. For your listen, if you are listening and you want to participate, you're going to have to just, do a video. All right. So here's how we're going to do. I know I've done these before in the past, and I know many of you have raised their hands, and I did some channeling for you. And what I want to do is to those who have not experienced me doing a channeling for you, and you have never done it before, go ahead and wave your hand, and I would be more than happy. So we have Joanna, we have Steve. Okay, maybe we could do 3 or 4. And then if we have time for those, okay, we have Fiona as well. And for those of you who have experienced this, and if we have time and you want me to do another one for you, we could do that as well. So let me see what I'm going to call on first. Let's do Joanne. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, Joanne. I'm going to go ahead and you're going to be seeing me give her an answer. So let me go ahead and do that. So, okay, here she is. I'm not going to ask any questions. Basically, what I'm going to do is I just want to invite you to just listen to what I'm about to do, and then see what I need to check in. But first, let me just energetically look at you. All right, perfect. And I love what you have in your background. Thank you. All right, so let me go ahead and just do the spotlight. All right, so let's go ahead and Joanna. Is it Joanna or Joanna?
It's Joanne.
Mm-hmm. Joanne. I'm going to invite you to go ahead and close your eyes, taking a couple of deep breaths in from your nose. Just let it go. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. Let's go ahead and mute, making sure that we don't have any noise in the background. I'm going to go ahead and ask for guidance and support from our higher self, from archangels, ascended masters, only light being to be here with us today. I want to call in and invite Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, energy of Mother Mary, Christ consciousness, Archangel Gabriel to step forward, Joanne's higher self to step forward. And Joanne, I'm going to invite you to envision a light of golden light around your, on your crown chakra and surround your whole entire body of protection, light protection. And again, only light beings are here with us today. And I'm going to go ahead and do a scan. And sometimes, not sometimes, I always see images. And they may or may not make sense to me. Sometimes they make sense to you, and sometimes they make sense to me. And that's the format of channeling that I do. I see images, and then we ask and we go deeper with spirit. So are you okay with me tapping into your ether and seeing what I have to see?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Somebody needs to mute. Somebody's on mute. I'm getting distracted. If you can check and see if you're on mute, let me go ahead and do that. Thank you for muting. All right, let me go ahead and redo this again. All right. So here's what I saw. And sometimes I close my eyes because at this point it is more easy for me to speak with my eyes closed. Okay. So here's what I saw. You are obviously a beautiful being. You have a lot of light around you, but there is a rope, a light rope that you're almost like with your own hand wrapping your whole entire body with. Once in a while, Joanne, what you do is you unwrap your body and you go out to the world and you create and you become innovative and you become the creative part of you and you give back. But once in a while, you feel like when you need to go in, you sort of limit yourself. What happens is you take this energetic rope and you surround it, your whole entire body. And so you're unable to move forward. You become stuck and uncertain. And in that space, there's a lot of fear that comes up for you, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of not knowing. There's also shame. I see some shame as you surround yourself with this energetic rope that you surround your body with. It carries with it, some shame. And that's one of the reasons you surround yourself with that rope. You almost tie yourself up. But here's the good news. You don't really tie it tight, but you know when you are capable to unwire the rope around your body, you're able to go and you're able to give back and you're able to really flourish. Let me see if Spirit has a message for you in regards to that. They want you to know that you are loved. They want you to know that you are supported. They want you to know that you are a human being who your soul has made an agreement, a soul agreement to be on earth and to give whatever gift that you have. And that all the conditioning and your upbringing of whatever shame stories, the wounding of the shame, they want you to release that. And they are here to guide and help you. Speak to your higher selves. To your higher self, to your guides. They're here to help you. It's not serving you right now. Whatever it is that you've been told, I'm getting a mother's energy. Perhaps it was from your mom's energy. You have been told something. You have been continuously were told something as a child. To be ashamed of something. We're not going to reveal here, but you know what it is. They want to tell you that whatever your mom told you is no longer true to who you are as the adult. They're also inviting you to speak to your inner child who feels a sense of shame and who uses that rope to tie herself up. It is your inner child that is the one that is wounded, and the adult, Joanne, is no longer in that space, and they want to give you permission to not tie yourself up as much as you should, and to be okay and to be free of that rope. Again, the good news is you're able to do that, but they want you to be more mindful of it every single time you go into that space. To untie yourself and know that you are a beautiful being that is here to give and gift. And whatever shame that you have been told through your mom when you were a little girl, it's no longer in the space. It's just an illusion. It's just a story that you need to let go of. Let me see if there's anything else they have for you. Spirit is also telling each and every one of you the same message that are relating to Joanne, because Joanne volunteered first. And this message may relate to some of you here, specifically women. Let's go ahead and deep breath. That is all for now. Thank you. All right. Is there anything that you need to say or feedback, Joanne? Or are you complete? Either way, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting that you mentioned that, because I've been doing work on releasing some stuff and healing my past. I had something come up that I had been holding on to, and I had to have my adult self talk to my child self and say, okay, no, this is how we need to handle this so that we can heal that. As far as my mother, she passed away when I was quite young. And so I no longer have family anymore. And so that was interesting. I do pull back my energy and I do retreat. And I am trying to come out of that and fully embrace what gifts I have so that I can help others. So you were right on that.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Joanne. All right. Next, thank you for your courage. I believe Steve Little. All right, Steve, let's go ahead and do that for you. I'm going to go ahead and just energetically check in with you. Thank you all for staying and being part of this. I appreciate it. All right. Let me just check in energetically with you. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and invite you to take a couple of deep breaths in from your nose. Steve, and release. Also invite you to soften your belly, soften your jaw, and also behind your knees. And just relax. Go ahead, take one more deep breath. And once more, our guides are already here, but once more, I all invite light being to be here with us today to support Steve with his highest good. Only light being are welcome here. All our guides, archangels, ascended masters, loved ones are all here. Let me go ahead and again invite you to create a beautiful bubble of light over your head and surround your whole entire body for protection from your crown chakra all the way to your feet. And I'm going to do the same for you. And will you give me permission to enter your ether and see what I can see?
Yes.
All right. Doing the scan right now, scanning your whole entire physical body. That's how I'm able to see an image. Interesting. All right. So here's what I saw. Sometimes for those who need to show up more and feel invisible, it takes me a little bit longer. Now you've seen me do it real fast because I've been practicing for years now. But often when I first scan your body and what I've seen and what I've witnessed as I'm scanning your body, it took me a little longer, a few more seconds for me to see your physical body or see any images at all. So there's a message there that you're not showing up fully for the person that you have signed up or your soul's mission that you signed up for here. And so when I asked Spirit, can I do one more scan? And I did that, and I saw you behind a glass door, Steve, okay? And a glass door. Now, you are being seen, but you're not being heard, and you're only being seen by those who you feel safe to be seen by. They're inviting you to step out of the glass and shatter it. One of the things that I do with clients, I do an energetic shatter. So we're gonna do that. Actually, we did that before with somebody who was in a glass box. So energetically, everybody, I invite you all, because you're all beautiful people. We're gonna go ahead and support Steve right now to crack that glass, that boundary that he has that's limiting him from being seen more in the world. So at the count of 3, I want you to envision a big energetic hammer. Let's go ahead and break this glass wall together. 1, 2, 3. It's all scattered right now, all over the floor. It's no longer here for you to hide behind. No longer. What Spirit is letting you know that you are here also, like many, for a great purpose, to heal humanity. You're here to heal people's hearts. Your heart has been broken many times, and you're here to heal them. And it's not just from an intimate relationship. There are a lot of hurt in your heart right now that you have been trying to release. They're showing me a cobweb around your heart, and you've been hiding behind that glass in order for you to protect your heart. Now the glass has been broken, Steve. We all cracked it together. We all broke it together. It's all shattered right now. They want to invite you to light up your heart, doing love meditations, being able to speak to people more that you love. Envision the most dearest and love that's in your heart in order for those cobwebs, the light, the bright light that's in your heart to expand, and all the cobwebs will disappear. It'll take some time. They want to invite you to share that heart with even more people. They're showing you that you have been attempting to be seen more and sharing your message more. But again, that wall that was in your way, that glass door, rather, that was in your way, stopped you from sharing more of your heart and who you are. You are here to create love on earth, or to share love on earth. This is like one of the most common things among all of us right now. We want to show everybody how everybody's loved, despite of who they are, where they come from, their background, the color of their skin. Love needs to be spread, and you are one of those who have made a soul contract on earth to support others, to see their heart and to expand their heart and to even experience what true love is all about. And you can't just be hiding. You can't just be hiding behind that glass. And they're speaking to all of you who are doing the same. It's time for you to show up more on social media. Bring the essence of who you are to the world. You can't keep hiding. You can't keep tying yourself with ropes anymore. It's time for us to channel our brilliance to others. And Steve, they want you to know that you are loved. They want you to know that you are supported. You just need to reach out to them and ask for guidance. Archangel Michael stepping forward. Archangel Gabriel stepping forward. They are here to guide you, and they want to work with you. Reach out to them. Learn more about the work with them. And I believe that you may already. They're telling me that you already know, you're familiar with who they are and the gift that they have. They want you to work more with those two specific archangels. Call upon them. Call upon your higher self. Stop hiding your heart. It's so beautiful. It's so brilliant. Let's ask if there's anything else. They're just bowing to you and blessing you with the beautiful gift and what you signed up for right now. This is the time for you to shine your heart right now, to help people understand what true love is all about. This is the message that they have for you at this point. Thank you. All right. Do you have any feedback, anything that you want to share?
Oh, yeah. Look, you've got me in tears. Sahar, you beautiful being.
Thank you.
That totally spoke right there. I have been doing a lot of work over the last couple of years now. And I know there's way more to go. And I have been doing a lot of work with the archangels for about 6 or 8 months now. And I felt that totally, that, yeah, I've only been going like that halfway mark. And then I've been pulling back when I get adverse reactions from different people or whatever, you know. So yeah, that spoke directly right there. Thank you, my friend.
Oh, thank
Beautiful
you for showing
blessings
up.
to you. Thank you.
Thank you for your beautiful heart. Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Let's see. I know somebody else. Maybe we could do 2 more. Again, thank you for staying. All right. Let's see here. Fedora, is it? Is that how you say your name? Was there somebody else that also raised their hand before? I want to make sure not to miss. Okay. Oh, yes, Michelle. So let's go ahead and do Fedora, and then Michelle, remind me. Okay, sweetheart? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just energetically check in with you. Fedora, am I saying your name right, sweetheart? Can you hear me?
Sorry?
Yes. Am I saying your name correct? How do you say your name?
Yes.
Fedora?
Theodora.
Theodora.
Yes.
Okay. And where are you calling us from? Are you here local the US?
I'm from Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let me just go ahead and check in and just physically scan you first, and then we're going to do the energetic scanning. All right. And Fedora. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes again. Again, our guides are still here with us. I am calling in the energy of Mother Mary for you. Energy of love and healing, compassion. She's definitely lit up right now. So let's see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead again, invite you to go ahead and close your eyes and envision a big light, golden light over your head on your crown chakra right here, and surround your whole entire body of the light of protection. Also, we invite only light beings to be here with us, and all our ascended masters, loved ones, archangels, angels, higher selves, they're all here. And I'm going to go ahead and give you permission. Can you give me permission, Fedora, to scan your whole body and see what I see?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So So what happens if there is somebody that's coming through that has passed, I get emotional and sometimes I tear up. So that's what's happening to me. Okay, now I see why Mother Mary is here. So I did scan you quickly, but you have a loved one that's coming through me right now. I'm trying to identify who they are, okay? And I just want to express to everybody how when I do receive a loved one, I get this beautiful feeling, and I can't help myself but to cry because it's just so beautiful. I can't even share the experience with you, but it's so beautiful. And so I get emotional, I cry. Okay, so there's a mother figure. Has your mom passed?
My mother is alive.
She is, okay. Your grandma?
She died before several years.
Okay. So it's a mother's figure. Let me see if it's your grandma. It could be an auntie. So it is your grandma. She's here. Oof, strong woman. Big heart. She wants to tell you that she loves you very much. She's telling you that she's very happy where she's at right now. She sort of wants to apologize to you and the family, that you forgive her. She didn't know any better. There's certain things that she has done or may have said to hurt people in the family. She wants to say that she's sorry and that it's not your fault, nobody's fault. That it was her upbringing, her ancestral way of being. That she did have a big heart and she loved everybody but couldn't express it perhaps. I see her in the kitchen. She's showing me that she loves to bake and cook. She has beautiful energy right now. She's so happy. She's telling you that she's doing good to humanity right now. Let me ask if there's any specific messages for her to share with you. She's very happy that she's here, and she just wants you to know that she loves you and your mother very, very much. And she said that she will come in your dreams. If she's already not coming in your dreams and you haven't, but ask for her to come in your dreams. She said that she has transformed after she passed and she could be one of your guides here on earth. She said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. She's very proud of you. She said, if you have something of hers that she gave you or something that you still keeping of her, whenever you are ready to call upon her for guidance and help, she wants you to hold on to that thing so you could energetically be connected to her. She's laughing and smiling, telling you how much she loves you and your mom and everybody in the family. And again, to forgive her. And that you are all love and you're all loved. Thank you. Woo! I didn't expect that today, but you never know what Spirit has in store. So do you have anything that you want to share? Anything that you want to express or feedback?
I need of this, and thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. You're a beautiful woman, you know that, right? You have a lot of beautiful light around you. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Michelle. Let's go ahead and hi, Michelle. Look at you. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm great, thank you.
I miss you so much.
I know.
All right. All right. Let me go ahead and just scan you with my eyes first. All right. Let's go ahead and do the same. Thank you, everybody, for staying. I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes again. Again, all our guardian angels, ascended masters are still here. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, his green emerald healing light is stepping forward. And each of these guides have their own gifts. Archangel Michael, Gabrielle, Mother Mary, Christ Consciousness are all here. They're celebrating you because they know that you are too a channel and you too communicate with them and past ones and loved ones. They love the work that you're doing here. They're asking you to do more of it, but let me go ahead and step more into your ether and see if there's anything, any messages. Go ahead and surround yourself with the golden light over your head. Surround your whole entire body, all the way from your crown chakra to your feet. You've already been protected. Again, relax your jaw. Let's go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths in from your nose. Relax. Make sure your feet are on the ground solid. If you have shoes, take them off. Give me permission to go ahead and scan, energetic scan.
Yes, you have it.
I laugh because some of the images that I see sometimes are hilarious. And plus they are so true to you because I know you, I've known you for years, but you never know what shows up. Interesting, interesting. All right. So here's what I'm looking at right now. You have your whole entire body. I want you to envision it in little boxes, right? And each box has a different color and it's all compartments, right? And they're telling you that you are somebody, and that's what Sahar knows of you to be, that you're very organized and yet you embody that fully. But sometimes that perfection part of you need to be released, and there has to be more trust and surrender. They're letting you know that they've seen you do that. They're seeing you try to surrender and to trust. But the nature of your work, you need to put everything in compartments. And they're literally showing me boxes. And so what you do in every area, if it's a red box, you just, in your mind, go in, you open the box and you get whatever it is that you want, then you close it. And you do whatever you need, and then you put it back and you close it. And then you go to the blue box and you open it and you get whatever it is that you need from that blue box, whatever project, idea, and then you finish with it and you put it back and you're putting it back. And then you go to your green box and you do the same, and to your purple box and you do the same, and to your yellow box and you do the same, and to your black box and you do the same. So what they're inviting you to do. Are you ready? Take a deep breath. They want you to just have one big box with everything in it. Okay. And that is going to really, really freak your system, your critter brain. One big box that everything is in, just one beautiful, pure golden box. They want you to put everything in it. Your personal, your business, your creativity, just put everything in it. And they want you to use your intuition when you're ready to reach out for whatever it is that you need. They want you to trust fully the process. They're speaking to all of you too. Trust the process from that beautiful golden one collective box, like we're all in oneness, they're saying. Trust your intuition that you don't need the green, the blue, the purple, the brown box, because that's security for you. But that's limiting you too, because those small boxes, when you open them up, you're not expanding. But when you have one beautiful golden box, that you're able to open with everything in it and using your intuition in order for you to reach in that and pick whatever it is that is meant for you to serve whoever it is that you need to serve. Just know that when you pull that thing out, whatever creative idea, service, it is going to be divine. It's going to be divinely orchestrated to whatever it is that you need to work. You need to trust the process. You need to process of life that you're on right now with all the things in one, and not to put everything in compartments and little boxes, but to know that you have the gift and the capability and the way that you channel things. You have the gift to know to pull the right exact thing. They're all going to be divinely orchestrated and they're divinely in the same order in which you need them. Michelle, this beautiful golden light, golden box with a golden light around it and around you now. So I'm going to go ahead and energetically see if I could do the shift for you. I'm removing all the boxes energetically. And I'm creating one beautiful golden box, and I want you to do that with me. And all of you who feel like you need that perfection in you, I invite you to do the same thing. Envision this beautiful, big, light one box where you could put all your tools, all your gifts, everything that you ever need to reach out in that one box. And trusting that everything will be in order exactly as it's supposed to when you're ready to come and pull it out. And that's how you could expand, because there's going to be more tools that are there for you to pull from. Think about it. There may be some small boxes in the past, in the old way of that you're doing, that you may forget. You may forget the lavender box that might have something important, but when you pour everything in that one big golden box, imagine the possibility. Imagine the creativity. Imagine all the different ways of doing things. The lavender and the green and the purple could mix together, and that when you pull it out, it's not just one specific color. It could be a combination of different colors that is going to create even more for humanity and for yourself, for your family. More variations, Spirit is saying. Play around with variations. Don't be stuck to the old way of this, the one specific thing. They're speaking to all of you right now. Thank you, Michelle, for being the one to speak to all of you here right now. Archangel Gabriel is the creative angel. They want you to call upon him and ask him for guidance in this. You are beautiful, you are loved, an amazing gift to humanity. And me personally, Sahar, I want to thank you for all the services that you've done for me and my community, your help and your support. And so it is. Whew, that was very good. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put the spotlight on you. If there's any feedback that you want to share, anything that you want to say, go ahead and unmute yourself, sweetheart.
So I'm working on trust, and when you said, take the boxes out, it felt like, oh, that's going to be different. But then I was imagining each box turning into like a burst of light. And then when you were talking, and right as you were saying, and they could blend together, I saw that they could be rainbow, they could be marble, they could be, so we were in sync on that. And yeah, so thank you. I'm going to try it.
Yes. And keep using it as your vision, as your imagination. Yes, and don't let perfect get in the way of possible. This has been my journey as well. And so as I was doing it with you, I'm going, oh wow, okay, I need to get rid of a few boxes that have not been serving me. I haven't even gone in those boxes yet, but if they're all together, that is beautiful metaphor that you created for us. Thank you, sweetheart. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'm gonna go back. Is there anybody else that has any comments, any feedback, any aha moment that they have received from doing this that they want to share? Go ahead and raise your hand if you have anything that you want to share. Okay. Beautiful. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who stayed here. For those of you who trusted me to do these for you, thank you so much for allowing me to show you my gift and for allowing me to gift you. For those of you who are curious, would like to learn more, please contact me via Facebook, Messenger. You could leave your information here. I'd love to expand more. If you want more answers, I'm here to serve. I am also offering a complimentary reading of 25 minutes. Again, it's my gift. I don't want to say complimentary. I want to gift those of you who would like to learn more. My gift, about 25 minutes of whatever it is that you need, unconditionally. This is just what I want to do. That's what I've been guided to do. Again, thank you for being here. I want to thank our guests again that showed up, Helena and Maha, and each and every one of you who contributed to our wonderful program today. Until next time, everybody, much love to each and every one of you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sahar. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everybody.